play around a little bit more here. So I finished up his legs, did some sunrise orange and some desert sand mixed together. And then, sorry for this guy, I just mixed up some harvest brown into a wash and then washed that over him. So I think actually I'm gonna see. I want to dry brush on him a little bit, but I think I'll wait. Tidal Lurker 1, so he gets the majority of the time here. So what I'm gonna do now is make the reddish color that I'm gonna put down his back and his tail and on his claws. Ultimately though, I want like a bluish, purplish, pinkish face, head area that I want to then blend into the red. So that's what we're going to try to accomplish eventually. But we're going to start out by just putting the base red color on there. The most red Reaper paint I have is Cobalt Scale, and I guess the Succubus Kiss, but to me the Succubus Kiss has more purple in it than the Cobalt Scale does. So I'm not going to use a Reaper Mini. I got these random super cheap acrylic paints. I'll show you. That top set, there's like 35 of them or something. I don't know. You can count them right there. I'm probably wrong. But however many colors there is, the majority of the colors, but it was like 20 bucks. So I got my Reaper box, and I got that thing. But I think, I don't know really if I want to use the Crimson Red or the Permanent. I'm going to go Crimson. So these come out with a way different consistency than the Reaper paints do. So actually I use them a little bit differently than I normally do paint. We'll see if it kind of shows what I'm talking about. I want to use which brush? I'm just going to use this super crappy, cheap one. Ugly, but it's soft because I just want to quickly kind of go at it. But you see what I'm talking about when I say the paint's different, like watch. To me it goes on more like a thick wash. I feel like it loses some of the pigment and like it thins, even though it looks like it would be all like just thick and gloopy. So I'm sure if you're watching you're probably like, dude, you are being so sloppy with that. I am. Because one, if you see this, then you've probably seen some of my other work, so you know that I paint in these weird random layers. So what you see now is probably not, I don't want to say at all, because it will be similar, but it'll go through a lot of evolutions and changes before that point. So I don't really care about being overly precise. And also too, I found that if you look at like wildlife, like real life wildlife, or even like wildlife or creatures on like sci-fi and entertainment, just in general, stuff like that, sometimes the they'll be like all solid one colors, but most of the time it's like a mesh or a blend. They're primarily main colors, but then there's little markings and blemishes and all that stuff that kind of gives it character and personality, uniqueness. So whenever I'm just basically rambling this day. When I'm being sloppy in these initial layers, I'm fine with that, because one, where I hit some of the legs at the top and the back of the arms, I want that area to be darker anyway, because it's going to be more shadowed when I'm done. So it's just going to help me out with that. Plus it'll give some different tones that are within the same family. Red and orange obviously are in the same family. So that's all I'm going to do with that initially. For my last little bit, I'm just going to go over the claws. Sorry. So with crimson, I don't want to do the inside of the claw really. I just want to hit the outside. Sure, this is awkward way I'm holding it, I'm sorry. But I'm going to do the inside of the claw in a different color. That's fine enough for now. And hit the other side. And I'm just going to brush over some of that. Sorry. And watch, maybe just brush a little bit. Brush some of that red right down the center of his belly. Cool. Set that down. Rinse this off. So I'm going to stick with these weird random paints because we're going to dry brush a little weirdly with them. It's not really going to be a dry brush. You'll see. I'm going to take these three. Burnt sienna, raw umber, raw sienna. And we're going to one at a time them. We're going to start out with the raw umber. We're going to use this flat one that I ruined. And just over the fur. Then we'll take the raw sienna. Same thing. So what I'm doing is obviously trying to make the fur look not only a little bit more real, least the same color. Like maybe he had some brown hair as a human, and the darker is the lichen, curse or whatever issue that he's got going on. Maybe reverse. Maybe the person had darker hair and then the lichen is bringing out the brown. Either way, I feel like multiple tones and shades in there. It's just gonna add to the, just make it look more real. Make it look a little more varied. So I put on 2 darker browns, now I'm gonna put on a lighter, more yellowish brown with the raw sienna. You notice I'm not washing my brush in between colors either because, again, I'm just blending all this together. Because he's already so dark, that's why I'm spending a little bit more time with this lighter brown. And work it in a little bit more to help brighten some of that up, give it a little more depth.
Potty, come on, I'm working.
Dog just came outside. We'll go help out. I'll be back.